In a tiny cell in Livingston, Texas, the clock was ticking down on a mastermind, George Rivas, not a genius of art or invention, but a cold architect of violence and destruction. It was February 28, 2012, and the leader of the Texas Seven had just learned what many before him already knew. Mercy is rare in Texas. His final Eighth Amendment appeal on cruel and unusual punishment was rejected. The Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles had delivered a unanimous 7-0 vote denying clemency. It was the last door slammed shut. No last-minute motions, no more arguments for what had become a textbook case of wasted potential. The former honor student, often described as highly intelligent, never saw himself as part of society. Rules weren't made for him. He chose his own path. A life of controlled, violent offenses that ultimately led to the Connolly unit with 18 life sentences. Behind bars, his intelligence turned strategic. With calculated charm and tight control, he built the Texas Seven, a hand-picked crew. He assigned roles, studied routines, drilled discipline, and after months of planning, they struck. Civilian workers were overpowered, weapons stolen, guards restrained. They vanished in a prison truck, moving with military precision. For weeks, they stayed ahead, robbing for cash, supplies, and weapons. But on Christmas Eve 2000, their escape turned fatal. Officer Aubrey Hawkins, responding to a store alarm, was ambushed. A 9-year-old boy lost his father. 41 days after the breakout, it ended. One member didn't wait for his fate. The others were captured. Rivas never pulled the trigger, but he was branded the architect, the mastermind, and became one of 4 sentenced to the ultimate penalty. It was quiet that night on death row at the Polunsky unit. Rivas slept peacefully under routine prison watch. No disturbances, no last-minute incidents reported. While his legal team had fought tirelessly until the final hour, chasing every possible appeal and last-ditch motion, Rivas himself was at peace. He had accepted his fate, and as his attorney later put it, seemed ready for it. Rivas had made it clear long before.
You call the death penalty, I call freedom.
Now, even his lawyers were out of moves. Attorney Mick Mickelson confirmed to reporters there would be no last-minute filings. Every legal avenue had been exhausted. Morning arrived on a day of a historic first. The first execution in U.S. history, on Leap Day. For decades, February 29th stayed clean, until now in 2012. George Rivas was about to leave his mark. Prison officials reported he had spent his morning meeting with friends, sharing several hours of conversation and quiet goodbyes. Meetings behind security glass, no physical contact allowed on death row. Guards moved into position. It was time. Rivas was shackled and secured inside a white prison van. Just before noon, the van rolled out, flanked by armed escorts. 40 miles of Texas highway lay ahead, straight to the Huntsville unit, also known as the Walls unit, home to Texas's execution chamber. Less than 50 minutes later, Rivas arrived. He was formally identified, fingerprinted, and dressed in a fresh white uniform, standard procedure for all condemned inmates on execution day. From there, he was escorted to a holding cell just 15 feet from the death chamber. Unshackled now, Rivas had access to a telephone, free to make final calls. Throughout the final hours, he remained calm and composed, under constant observation. As the execution hour drew closer, movement picked up outside. Reporters spotted a convoy of 5 Irving Police Department vehicles headed towards Huntsville. Officers in full uniform, paying tribute to one of their own, Officer Aubrey Hawkins. Inside, with no visitors allowed in the final hours, Rivas's only link to the outside world was the telephone. He spent the time making personal calls, reaching out to family and loved ones. One of them, his Canadian pen pal, Sherry McDonnell. He reached out to congratulate her on her marriage. With him. They'd married by proxy some time ago, but it wasn't official until now, 3 hours before he died. Texas had long abandoned the tradition of customized last meals, a privilege scrapped after years of abuse. So, at 4:30, George Rivas didn't get a favorite dish or final request, just the standard tray. Barbecue chicken with the usual sides, same as everyone else in Huntsville. By all accounts, Rivas accepted the tray calmly, without comment or protest. He ate in silence, leaving little behind. The final green light came down. Jason Clark, spokesperson for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, gave the update everyone knew was coming. There's no stay, no clemency, it's moving forward. Though clear for hours, it now became official. No last-minute filings, no court interventions. The path was cleared. Clark shared details from inside. I met with him a few minutes ago, along with the warden and the chaplain, he told reporters. Rivas stated that he's made it clear that he's ready to go. Rivas was once again described as calm and resolute, showing no panic, no signs of second-guessing. Clark also confirmed one more thing. When the moment came, Rivas planned to make a final statement. Outside the Huntsville unit, the crowd of law enforcement officers had swelled. By 10 minutes to 6, nearly 30 officers from Irving stood shoulder to shoulder. It was a silent vigil after a long drive from Dallas. Witnesses from both sides were escorted to separate viewing rooms. On one side, supporters of the victim and state officials. On the other, Rivas's relatives and friends. Some faces were missing. Lori Hawkins had chosen not to attend. She had been present at the execution of another Texas 7 member years earlier and found no peace in it. This time, she stayed away. Hawkins's father and young son also declined, choosing to remember Aubrey beyond the walls of Huntsville. Rivas had selected 5 personal witnesses, the maximum allowed, but one of them never arrived. His empty seat was filled by Dallas County District Attorney Craig Watkins, a symbolic presence from the justice system that had pursued Rivas for over a decade. The curtains drew back. Inside the chamber, George Rivas lay strapped on the gurney. Warden James Jones stood at his side. At the foot of the bed, Chaplain Dan Rose placed a gentle hand on Rivas's leg, the other holding a Bible, offering quiet comfort. Rivas was dressed in a white uniform, a sheet pulled up to his chest. A microphone hung just above him, ready to catch his final words. When asked if he had a final statement, Rivas spoke with steady resolve. First of all, to the family of Officer Aubrey Hawkins, I want to say I'm truly sorry for all that happened. Not just because of where I am now, but because I know you deserve peace in your hearts. He turned to his loved ones. To my wife, Sherry, thank you for being in my life. I love you more than words can say. He expressed gratitude to his sister, Catherine Cox, his son, and close friends. He offered a final nod to those he was leaving behind on death row. To my friends, especially the guys I've spent time with on the row, you have my respect and appreciation. And to the officers involved, thank you for your courtesy. His last words were for his wife. Take care of yourself. I'll be waiting for you. I love you. God bless. Rivas paused, looked toward Sherry through the glass, and closed calmly. I am ready to go. Rivas turned his head slightly toward his wife as the process began. A soft smile crossed his face. He mouthed, I love you. Once, twice, then again, each time slower, more deliberate. The injection began. His breathing slowed. His chest rose and fell unevenly. A faint snoring sound escaped his lips as the sedative took hold. His eyes remained fixed on his wife until, finally, they closed. The last moment of connection before slipping beyond reach. Throughout, Chaplain Dan Rose kept his hand resting gently on Rivas's leg, quietly reading from the Bible, offering calm in the final minutes. 10 minutes after the procedure started, at exactly 6:22 p.m., George Rivas was pronounced dead. He was 41 years old and the second member of the Texas 7 to face execution. If you've made it this far, thank you. If this story made you think, share your thoughts below. Drop a like if you appreciate this video, and subscribe to help me grow. Your support keeps this going. See you in the next one.